Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our, that picture back there had me a little, I'm like, who is that back there? Oh, it's me. Uh, Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the kickoff of our 3-day Get Wealthy launch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in here. Let me give folks just a few minutes to come in. We've got emails, we have texts, we've got all kind of technology really reminding you about the fact that we are launching our 3-day Get Wealthy Challenge. And let me tell you, that's where the magic happens. So come on in here. I want to see who is in the room with me this evening. In the chat, let me know where you hail from so that I can also give you a big shout out. Let me go to gallery view. I'm going to ask everyone to turn on their cameras. Listen, we are all family here at WealthyU. And what you must know is that when I see you, it gives me energy. Yes, that's right. So I see, all right. I see those cameras on. Come on in now. I can dress up, right? I can put on some makeup because this lives in infamy. But for y'all good. Y'all all right. Come on in. We're all family here. I'm always excited when we start our Get Wealthy Challenge. And I'll talk a little bit about why just a little later. But here's all I want you to know. There is no mistake that you are here today. You're here for a reason. And I want you to know is that, good evening, Joyce Valentine. Good to see you. Cassandra from Savannah, Georgia. Good to see you. My good girlfriend, one of my besties, just bought a home there. So we're definitely going to make it to Savannah. Let me know where you're from so I can holler, chat at you. So Janice from Washington, D.C., just a few miles down the road. Good to see you. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Okay. Talking about, we hail from all over the country and in many cases all over the world. Started though, so come on in here. I'll continue to give you some shout outs. But if this is your first time joining a WealthyU challenge, put first in the chat. Put first in the chat. I just want to know who's in the room with me. I see my OGs here. I see Maddie, one of my OGs. That's right. Maddie's been hanging with us for a minute. Also, a number of our ambassadors are in the house. Lynn Crooms, our newest ambassador. We want to welcome her to the team, as well as Virginia Rutherford Hall and Anita Jenkins. They are my OGs. They've been here for a minute with me, but all with the goal of helping 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets so that they can. Now, it's not about the money, it's about the mission, so that you can achieve the level of financial success you desire and deserve, but also so that you can create legacy wealth. Awesome. So now that we know what the mission is, let's see, it's Cassandra's first time. Well, welcome, Cassandra. Laura's first time. Let me give some more first timers some shout outs. And again, I want to encourage all of you to turn on your cameras. Listen. What many of you may not know, and my OGs in the house, tell them how it works. Tell them that we become good girlfriends. I'm going to learn about you. You're going to learn about me. I am fully transparent, right? So you could Google me, you could, whatever. My life is an open book, but also that you understand is that in WealthyU, we create a safe place so that we can have some good conversations so that you can accelerate your financial growth. So if you're ready to accelerate your financial growth, put yes in the chat. Awesome. Let's see. Who else? Hello from Phoenix. Antoinette says this is her first time. Awesome. I already said Laura's first time. If this is your first time in the chat, Elisa says yes. Laura says yes. That's right. Yes. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. You are all here for a reason. There is no mistake. And for some of you, you are going to become a part of this sisterhood and your lives are going to be changed. Now, I know that for a fact because my WealthyU ambassadors, Virginia, Anita, our newest ambassador, Lynn, they too were sitting on a challenge or maybe started a coaching program with me and then everything changed. And I want you to know if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. If it can happen for them, it can happen for you. So let me just see who is in the house with me this evening. Who's in the house with me this evening? So let me just share with you. You are in the right place. You are in the right place if you did everything that you were told, right? You followed that financial success roadmap. You're in the place you're in the right place if you got the college degree, had the career, and somehow you still don't feel like you're where you need to be. If I just described you, put yes in the chat. I want you to know that you're in the right place. You're in the right place if you've been trying all different kinds of things, right? Like you've been listening to the gurus. You've been investing in your 401k. You've been trying to learn options even. This is not your first rodeo. If you've tried a lot of other things to learn how to invest, if I just described you, put yes in the chat. If you've tried a lot of things and you still are perplexed and wondering why you're not further ahead financially, put that. At least it says, yes, I want you to know, right? Now, Toya, I got to give it to you, honey, because you in your car and you was like, I'm getting mine tonight. I got this text. I see you, sis. Let me just tell you, women in WealthyU, even if I'm traveling, and if they're on my calendar and I forget to close my calendar, you are likely to see me on a plane, on a train. We do what we got to do. So Toya, I already know you a money maker because you're gonna do what it takes, right? Let me just ask you as well. What I want you all to know is this, and I appreciate it. You could be anywhere right now. Right? Like you could be anywhere, but you chose to be here tonight and there is no mistake. So many of you, let me just tell you too, if you're in the right place, you're in the right place if you are afraid you haven't saved enough to retire. If that's you, put yes in the chat. I want you to know you're in the right place. If that is you, put yes in the chat. Okay, Janice says yes. Bridget says yes. Tira says yes. Elisa says yes. Yes, I want you to know that no matter where you are on the journey, if you're willing to lean in, Charlene says yes. If you're willing to lean in with me for these next 3 days, things will begin to be clear to you on one, why you aren't further ahead. And there is a reason for that. I want all of you to know that this landscape that we're in is designed for you not to achieve financial success. What I want you to know is that the reason that you're not further ahead, is that you've had the wrong blueprint all along. That's what I want you to know. And that's why you're here today, because you did everything that you were told. You got the college, you got the job, you got the career, you bought the house, you bought the cars, you did all the things. Can y'all relate to this? You did all the things, and yet you're wondering, how come they're over there and it looks like they're living the life of their dreams? They're going on vacations, they're going on cruises, they don't feel stressed out. You know, something happens, they're able to shift. Some people got houses over here and houses over there. That's what I had dreamed for me. And I'm wondering what do they know that I don't? If that's you, put yes in the chat. If you feel like somebody else got a different set of instructions, if that's you, put yes in the chat. Francis says yes, yes, yes. Angela says yes. Charlene says yes. Elisa says yes. Toya says yes. Angela says yes. Tira says yes. Laura says yes. I want to know you're in the right place. Because in the next 3 days, you are going to learn everything that you need to know and finally understand what the wealthy people know that you don't. If you want to know what the wealthy people know that you don't, put yes in the chat, right? Right here, here's all I want you to know is they got a whole different blueprint. And tonight I'm going to be sharing with you how I kind of went stealth and figured it out, right? And also why I have made it my mission. It is our mission in WealthyU to provide you with the right blueprint so that you can finally achieve the level of success that you desire and deserve, and so that you can finally create the legacy wealth, the wealth that is not only going to last you in this generation, but also into the next generation. If you want to become a legacy wealth creator, and so who is interested in learning exactly why everything that you've tried to do has not allowed you to feel the kind of financial security that you once dreamed of? If that's you, put yes in the chat. I want you to know that this community was built for you. And the reason that you are not further ahead is because you have the wrong blueprint. And in these next 3 days, you're going to learn why you aren't further ahead. But here's what I want you to know, that in order to learn what's ahead, you got to stick with me, because for those of you who lean in every night, right? For those of you who join me every night, you are going to be rewarded, because in WealthyU, membership has its rewards. We're going to be going through a 3-day challenge. And in addition to that, you are going to have some amazing women who were sitting right where you were. And they are our WealthyU ambassadors. And our WealthyU ambassadors were just like you. They'd done everything that they needed to do, and yet they still were wondering why they weren't further ahead. They've been reaching out to you. In WealthyU, we have ambassadors that have been reaching out to you, and they're reaching out to you because they want you to have the same level of financial success that they've experienced in their own lives. Many of them now have portfolios in the several hundred, 6,000s. Their first homes, their second homes. They have investment portfolios outside of just their 401ks. They know how to analyze and research investments. And so what I want you to make sure that you do, I'm going to introduce them a little later before we get off, but what I want for you to do is make sure that you are connecting. First of all, that you're in our Facebook group. That's the first thing I want to tell you, because that's how we're connecting with you and how you're going to get all of the updates that you need So the first thing I need you to do, I need to make sure you're in our private Facebook group. And if we could put that link in the chat, please do that as well. Please do that as well. And who's ever staffing me tonight, make sure that you put our Facebook group in the chat. I want you to join that, right? Janice says a lifetime learner. That's right. Because you know what? Learners are earners and learners are owners. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference and what that means in WealthyU. Now, the other thing I want, someone just said they're a lifetime learner. Who wants to get ahead, get a jump, get ahead of the pack? If you want to get it ahead of the pack, and you not only want to learn what you can learn in these 3 days with me, who wants to get access to insider information that usually is only reserved for our WealthyU members? If that's you, if you are someone who likes to get ahead of the curve, in the chat, put yes in the chat. Eliza says yes. So one of the things I want to make sure you all take advantage of is our VIP level. In our VIP level, you're going to get our Wealth Secrets of the Millionaire in the Making Toolkit. And in that, you're going to have a copy of my newest best-selling Amazon book, Wealth Secrets, where I break down the entire blueprint that I'm going to be sharing with you. But there's more. You also get our 6-hour masterclass, Be One of the Million with a Million, that gives you additional insight. And you also get our How to Avoid Investor Pitfalls in this kit. They're over, we had 600, they're probably over $1,000 for $27. If you will make the investment in that, I want you to get a head start. What I want you to know is that this is about us giving you tremendous value in these next 3 days. You know, one of the things that is interesting, thinking about my book, Wealth Secrets, in the book, Wealth Secrets, there are stories of women in WealthyU who paid off, who were a negative $500,000 in debt, who were hundreds of $1,000s in school loans, who had been working for 30 years, 20 years in some cases, and their money had gone nowhere. And in just a couple of years, many of them doubled their investments. They're now entrepreneurs and so on. And so let's make sure we put that VIP, how they can get the VIP in the chat. It's in the chat right now. I want to make sure you guys take advantage of that. Because not only are you going to get access to that tools, but every night you're going to join me a half an hour before we go live. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to have some of the same type of coaching and insight that our members get beforehand. And so if you want accountability and support, let me just ask the question for y'all. How many of you know you need a mentor, right? You need a wealth mentor. You need someone to guide you. You need someone to say, hey, sis, don't go that way, go this way. You need someone who has, Toya says she does, right? So what I want you to know is that no one of makes any significant impact or builds any significant wealth without there being someone there to show them the way. Listen, if you want to go to the next level, someone has to take you there. And I want you to know that your member, your WealthyU ambassador, and myself, we're a team, and we are here to give you the kind of guidance and support that you've never gotten up until now. One of the other things, so let me just ask in the chat, how many of you have spent tens of thousands of you, how many of you have bachelors? If you have a bachelor degree, put yes in the chat. if you have a bachelor's degree, and if you invested tens of thousands of dollars, put yes in the chat. Tara says yes, Laura says yes, Francis says yes, right? So how many of you have a master's degree? How many of you have a master's degree? If you have a master's degree, put yes in the chat. So I see Roberta. Yeah, I know we've got. So here's what I want you to know. Women have more education than men now, right? Misha says yes. Deborah says yes, yes. So you invested. How many of you invested over 50K for your education? If you've invested over 50K, put yes in the chat. Roberta says yes. Sarah says yes. Okay. How many of you have invested over 100K in your education? If you've invested over 100K in your education, Roberta says yes, yes, yes. Now, here's what I want you to understand is, don't you think it's interesting that many of you have bachelor's degrees, you have master's degrees? We got any PhDs in the house? Any PhDs in the house? Put yes in the chat, right? You've invested all these dollars in your education. You've gotten your career. You're a high achiever. You've done everything that you needed to do. And yet, don't you find it interesting that the most valuable knowledge and skill set that you need to learn, the knowledge of how to turn your income into wealth, was rarely taught? Don't you think that's interesting? How many of you think so? Maddie says BA degree. That's right. Roberta says working on it now, her PhD. Don't you think it's interesting that the knowledge of how to build wealth and create legacy wealth is something that is not covered in your formal education? Can I let y'all in on a secret? Who wants to can I let you on the secret? So here's what I want you. Yeah, master's degree. That's right. Isn't it interesting? Well, here's what I want you to know is that the knowledge of how to build wealth is an inherited skill. That's what I want you to know. You don't learn it in your formal education. If you didn't have someone in your family, well, first of all, if you don't have over $1 million in investable assets, right, then you're not going to get that kind of access. Can I be real with y'all? Can I just be honest with you? Okay. The reason that you've done all the right things and the things that you were told is because you were following the American dream. You had the middle class mindset. That was the roadmap that you were given. Okay. But that's not how the wealthy get wealthy. All right. And so in these next 3 days, if you hang on in here with me, you're going to get tools, you're going to get accountability, you're going to get support. But the most important thing you're going to get is the right blueprint. If you want the right blueprint, put yes in the chat. I just want you to know you've been given the wrong blueprint. And what I want you to know, Bridget says yes, that's right. Who wants the right blueprint? If you want the right blueprint, Angela says yes, I want the right blueprint. Laura says yes, I want the right blueprint. Tara says yes. See, here's what I know. I've coached thousands of women, and here's we're on a mission to help 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets. And what's really interesting is that typically it takes a couple of challenges before women take to raise their hand, right? And so I want to know, before I even start sharing the insight that you're going to learn this week, I want to know, when I invite you to join WealthyU, I want to know who's serious, who's tired of being out there on their own, who's tired of being on the struggle bus, who's tired of making money but not having any, right? If that's you, I want to know who's going to raise their hand. If you're going to raise your hand when we go through this challenge, when I give you all the information you need, when you get the insight, when you get the right blueprint, who's going to raise their hand? If you're going to raise your hand, put yes in the chat. Okay. Liberta says yes. Nina says yes. Eliza got 20 hands up. Francis, I just want to know if I got the right folks in the room. Francis says yes. Laura says yes. I want to know who is going to, when that door is open, who's going to run through. That's what I want to know. Okay? That's what I want to know. So Toya says, I have associate's degree in business, but before I got some education, I applied for a job. They said I was underqualified, so I went back. So here's what I want you to know is that, now don't get me wrong. I got a BA, an MBA, so I'm certainly, I got to the, to what my parents thought was the promised land. I was a senior manager in a huge global firm, but what I want you to know is that's not how you get wealthy, right? The most important skill you have to learn is how to turn your income into wealth. Bar none, most important skill, right? And who's interested in learning how I found this out? Who's interested in learning that? If you are, put yes in the chat. I said, okay, I see you, girl. You run it. Because I want you to know, here's my promise to y'all. Here's all I want you to know, is that you have everything you need to be everything you need to be. That's what I want you to know. But you cannot get to the financial destination that you are trying to achieve with the roadmap that you have right now. Now that's facts. Put facts in the chat. Facts, right? CC, right? Facts, right? You need the right blueprint. And that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this 3-day challenge. And I just want you to know this isn't hype. This isn't hype, right? Over and over and over again, you will see the stories of the hundreds of women who have applied this blueprint, and now they are finally on their way to achieving the level of financial success they desire and they deserve. And what I want you to know is if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. But first, you need to know a little bit about me, right? I'm Deborah Owens, also known as America's Wealth Coach, an author, a financial expert, spent several decades in the investment industry. But what I want you to know is that I am you. I did not come from wealth. On the left side of the screen, that beautiful woman is my mother, and she's 18 years old at the time. And next to her is me. That's my graduation from high school picture. And I never knew how much I favored my mother until I put these two pictures together. But what I want you to know is my mother's desire for me was to achieve that American dream. And she poured everything that she could in me. I was the fifth, I was the youngest and the fifth of 5 children. And as you can imagine, and I'm sure like with your family, as your parents earn more money, they have more discretionary income. And so my mother did everything that she could for me to make sure that I could have a different life than she had as someone who was a sharecropper's daughter and also actually picked cotton, in the fields in Alabama, in the Black Belt, right? And so her desire for me was to live the life that she could only imagine. If you can relate to that, put yes in the chat. I want you to know that I am you, and that like your parents, they probably wanted the best for you. I was the first in my family to achieve a bachelor's degree, an MBA. But what I want you to know is that there was a lot of sacrifice for that to happen for me. My mother, whatever I desired, I wanted ballet, I wanted modeling school. She sent me to a private Catholic high school in Detroit. She poured everything into me. And she would retire from the auto industry, and my parents would then move to Hawaii. And, after 33 years of marriage, they had were positioning themselves to retire in Hawaii, where one of my sisters were born. And then after 33 years of marriage, my parents separated, and I saw my mother's standard of living go just above poverty. And I said, you know what? I don't want my mother to have to worry about me, but I'm gonna make sure that I make good on her dream for me. If you guys can relate to that, I want you to understand that this is personal for me, right? And so I began to work, and all I wanted to do was be able to take care of myself and my mother not worry about me. And I had been working in retail, and a manager working all these different hours. And I had a friend that worked for an investment company. I didn't really know what an investment company was, but she said she could get me a job, an opportunity. And I thought, why not? And let me tell you, when I walked in that Merrill Lynch office, I couldn't believe what I saw. But what I knew was that I belonged there, and that I was going to learn something that I had never been exposed to through my formal education or from my parents. And that's where I learned the secrets that I'm going to share with you over these next 3 days. What I'm going to be sharing with you are the wealth secrets that we never learned through our formal education. That's where I discovered wealth secret number 1, mindset. That wealthy people have a different mindset. We've been given the income mindset, and I'm going to share that with you this week. And the second thing I'm going to share with you is that wealthy people have different strategies that they apply. And that's why they end up in a different place. And most of them got those strategies either from their private bankers or from a personal investment mentor. And then finally, when wealthy people execute, they execute differently. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you over these next 3 days. Who is ready to learn the secrets that I discovered? From then, I had a very fast trajectory in the investment industry. Once I got my foot in the door, man, I started as a receptionist. I went on to get my broker's license. I went on to be recruited by Fidelity Investments. I went on to be a financial consultant. I went on to be a branch manager, vice president. I went on to manage the West Coast for Fidelity. But it was there that I realized that this was information I could not hold for myself, that I needed to tell the world. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you is the journey that I took in order to not only get access to the knowledge that the wealthy have, but also to then put together a system, a new blueprint that is now responsible for helping hundreds of women who weren't born rich, just like me, learn how to turn their income into wealth. And so if you're interested in learning how, put yes in the chat. All right. My promise to you is that if you'll hang in here with us for the next 3 days, if you show up right here every night at 8:00, that you're going to finally learn why it has been so difficult for you to be able to achieve a level of financial security that we only see other people achieve. I want you to understand that what I'm going to be revealing to you in the next 3 days is now responsible for helping thousands of women first learn how to shift from an income to a wealth mindset, because whether you know it or not, more income is not going to solve your problems. Now, I'm not saying making more income is not going to help, but it's not the solution, right? It's not the solution. All right. The other thing that I know is that if you're like me, many of you are like the family banker, that you've been taking care of everyone else, your children included, not realizing that it is the best thing that you can do for your family is to achieve a level of financial security so that you're not a burden, and that you can take ownership and have enough, right? To have enough, because I know many of you feel like there's not going to be enough. If that's you, put yes in the chat. For some of you, Eliza says yes, 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 right? So for some of you, the most important thing you're going to learn is how to say no to other people and yes to your future. I'm going to need for you to be committed to do that. Are you committed to do that with me? Put yes in the chat, right? Because what I want you to know is I have such a sense of urgency around this. I have such a sense of urgency because what I know is someone who's been on this path for over 2 decades, almost 3, is that unfortunately it's not getting better, it's getting worse, right? Like the wealth gap is widening, and the reason it is widening is not just the lack of money, it's the lack of knowledge, it's the lack of know-how. And for some of you, how many of you have actually sat down with someone and they told you they could help you, and yet you don't see your money growing? Listen, if your investment with the way that the market has been just in the last decade, if your investments have not at least doubled over the last 10 years, then you're doing what I call, some of you are playing not to lose instead of playing to win. Some of you need to understand this. You understand what I mean? You're playing not to lose. You're afraid that if you take any kind of risk, that you're going to lose your money. I have people, I was even talking to one of our members and helping her review. She just made some different choices in her investments, and she was like, well, I've lost money. And I was like, no, you haven't lost anything. The market has went down, but you haven't lost anything until you sell. And so what I want you to know, and here's what I want all of you to know, is this. This is what you all need to understand, is that you would already be a millionaire, but the knowledge of how to build wealth has been hidden from you, right? It's been hidden from you. Agree or disagree? And many of you are standing 10 feet away from your breakthrough, but because you lack the knowledge, you don't even see it. Roberta says, totally agree. Bridget says, totally agree. And the reason that you can't see it is that you've never been equipped with the knowledge. And what I want you to know is once you get equipped with that knowledge, for some of you who run through that door and you get equipped with that knowledge, you know what you're going to see, what you're going to say? If only I had learned this 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But what I want you to know is that it's never too late. But the time to start is now. Many of you are running out of time because there's 2 things that you need in order to achieve the level of financial success. You need to invest, and then you need time for that money to grow. So every day that you delay, you are denying yourself of the future that could have been. And so I have a question for all of you in the chat. How would your life change if you were to become one of the women who accelerates their financial who accelerates their financial growth to 7 figures beyond? Francis says, that's how I feel. I ran out of time. Well, no, the time to get started is today, because what I want all of you women to know. Liberta says, I'm 74 and I'm yet working to finish my doctorate and establish you. Liberta, I need you to focus on turning your income into wealth, right? Francis says, I am willing. Well, what it's going to take? It's going to take investment of your time. It's going to take investment of your resources, because it's going to take commitment. It's going to take you showing up. It's going to take you getting out of your head and taking action. It's going to take you applying the 3 secrets. And the 3 secrets are mindset, strategy, and execution. But some of you need to get started right now. You don't need to be waiting for me at 8 o'clock. And what you all need to do is the first thing that I did when we put together this VIP package is I made sure that I put that Wealth Secrets book in that book. And in that book, you are going to read some amazing stories of women from all walks of life. Listen, $27 isn't going to change anything, but I need you to put some skin in the game. And rather than me giving it away, I want you to already learn that in order to get a return on investment, you have to invest. And the other thing I want you to understand is that you have to invest at the level of the results that you want. You have to invest at the level of results that you want. And so how many of you all want to skip to the head of the line? You're like, okay, Miss Owens, I believe you. I'm ready to run through the door right now. If any of you are ready, then one of the things that I want to make sure you do, and I'm going to put this in the chat, I want you to apply to WealthyU programs. Do we have the right link? I want you to apply. For those of you who have already she called me out. I'm that person. I know this is the thing that I've been waiting for. I'm be looking for. If that is you, put yes in the chat. But more importantly, what I want you to do is I want you to apply to WealthyU programs, because I am going to open the doors to WealthyU, and you are going to get an opportunity to get the kind of accountability and support that you need. And you are going to be introduced to my brand new Legacy Wealth Blueprint. And you're also going to get a chance to be mentored personally by me, right? But I need to know, but look, now I'm going to just warn, I'm just going to tell y'all, who my OGs in the house, we have some members in the house. I am straight with no chaser, right? Like I need you to know that if you do not want to be mentored by someone who is going to, first of all, what all of you are going to learn is that you all have a superpower, right? But you just don't know how to indicate, you don't know what it is, but we're going to identify what that is. But here's the other thing I want you to know is that you guys know what my superpower is. Who wants to know what my superpower? If you want to know what my superpower is, put yes in the chat. Who wants to know what Miss Owens' superpower is? Angela says yes. Francis says yes. Nina says yes. Who else wants to know? That's all? Those are the only people that want to know? And for those of you who are watching online, team, let's make sure that we put these links on Facebook as well, so those of us who are watching it on streaming. Misha says yes. Toya says yes. My superpower is I have the ability to see more in you than you can see in yourself. I mean, that really is my superpower. One of the things I tell our members, and they often wonder, well, how did you know that? Well, how could you just look at that and tell me that's what I need to do? Because I feel like I'm like, you got AI out here right now. I'm the human artificial intelligence, right? To help women accelerate their financial growth. Many of you are playing too small. I think I need to repeat that again. Many of you are playing too small. Many of you need to take it up a notch. You need some intensity. Let me tell you, I want to tell you guys a story. So I'm, our new book, Wealth Secrets, each chapter is the story of a woman in WealthyU who achieved a financial transformation and applied one of the secrets. There are 7 secrets we're going to.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. Maybe I'm talking too softly. And Virginia, I know that rarely happens, right? But anyhow, so here's what I want you to know. So I write this book. It's a labor of love. And the thing about this book, the reason it's so different is because, my first book, Confident Investing, a wealth building guide for women, in that book, I wanted to bring to bear everything that I had learned in the investment industry. And that book was really more technical, and it talked about the stock market and how they worked. In my second book, though, A Purse of Your Own, in that book, I wanted to share the attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of wealthy people that I had been exposed to in my career. And so in that book, each chapter had the story of a woman, but those weren't women that I impacted. Many times there were archetypes or, clients that I had known over the years. And then I wrote the book, Nickel and Dime Your Way to Wealth, about a true story about a parking attendant in Baltimore who never earned more than $12 an hour, now has a 7-figure portfolio. And why I wanted to write that book was because I wanted everybody to know that no matter where you are, you have the ability to learn how to invest and achieve a level of financial success. But with Wealth Secrets, that book was a labor of love because it was a result of me being obedient and launching WealthyU as a group coaching program. And as a result of that, what happened is women started having these miraculous transformations, and they happened much faster, right? And so one of the things I shared with all of you was that I have such a sense of urgency around getting to these million women to get to $1 million in investable assets. But after I wrote that book, one of the things that became really, really clear is why women were having more success and accelerating their financial growth faster. The first thing was level of intensity, and level of intensity, if you read that book, what you're going to find over and over and over is that many of the women refer to a challenge that they were a part of, right? Very similar to what you're going to go through in the next 3 days. But the other aspect of that was certainly the accountability and support. Some of them had been private coaching clients, but it was just 3 years ago, right at the height of COVID, when COVID began, that we started the WealthyU, what was at that time called the WealthyU Society, and now we've just launched a new program called the Legacy Wealth Builder. But the most important aspect of it, the reason women are getting further faster, is intensity and community and support. And so WealthyU, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. In the next 3 days, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact strategies that the women in the Wealth Secret books have used to build their first six portfolio, build their first seven figures portfolio, purchase their second home, start using tax advantage strategies. What I want you to know is that what I know is possible for you. What I know is possible for you. What I know is if it was possible for them, it's possible for you. I know that to be true. I'm certain of it. And you know why? Because it took me years to perfect the blueprint, the exact blueprint that you're going to be exposed to. Now, not only are you going to be exposed to it, but that we just launched a new program that provides you with that level of intensity, accountability, and support so that you can hit the ground running and experience the kind of financial success you have not up until now. Now, am I saying it's going to happen overnight? No, it's not going to happen overnight. But one of the things I promise you, if you will stick with me for these next 3 days, if you will apply a WealthyU, if when this door opens, if you run through it, my promise to you is that you will experience the kind of financial success and confidence that has escaped you up until now. I know that to be true. And the reason I know it is because it continues to happen over and over again. You know, I got a text the other morning talking about the fact that, well, no, this wasn't even a text. This was a one-on-one conversation with one of our members. And I was saying to her, well, how are you doing? Let's talk about where you were when you started and where you are now. And just in a couple of years, her portfolio is already up a couple of $100,000, more than she had seen in her over 10 years. Well, no, she's been working for over 20 years. And so what I want you to know is that the financial success that you desire and you deserve is directly correlated to your ability to have the knowledge of how to build wealth. But not only that, there's one more thing that's really important, is that every one of you, when we identify your opportunity lever, that lever that you need to pull, that's going to allow you to get further faster, that is the secret. That is the real secret. And what I want you to know, that those opportunity levers are different for everyone, and they are hidden in plain sight. And if all of you would have known how to understand what you were looking at, you would be further. Many of you would already be seven figures and beyond. But because you did not inherit this knowledge, because you didn't have a mentor, because you don't understand what's in front of you, you can't get ahead. Listen, you cannot get to the destination that you seek with the wrong blueprint. And that is what we're going to be revealing to you in these next 3 days. So I'm going to leave you with this, okay? I need you, some of you need accountability and support, need a mentor. I need you to get on board and just go to VIP level so that I can have some deeper conversations with you. I need you to get that VIP kit, and then I need you to read the Wealth Secret book. And I promise you it is a good read, and that you're going to be inspired. And it's going to be just the fuel you need to lean in for these next 3 days. If you will do that for me, if it can happen for the hundreds and now thousands of women who've been through WealthyU programs and are now finally achieving the level of financial success they desire and deserve, if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. In the chat, I want you to put It can happen for me. I need you to make an affirmation. I need you to know that you have everything you need to be, everything you need to be in the chat. It can happen for me. I need you to claim it. I need you to declare it publicly in the chat. It can happen for me. That's what I want you to respond. If it can happen for me. That's right, Toya. It can happen for me. That's right, Liberta. It can happen for me. That's right, Janice. It can happen for me. That's right, Nina. It can happen for me. I believe and receive. Absolutely. It can happen for me. Who else believes it can happen for me? In the chat. I need you to declare this publicly. Denise Jones, that's right. It can happen for me. It can happen for me. I need you to raise your belief. I need you to raise what's possible for you. What I promise to you is that I can see more in you than you can see in yourself. I've created this blueprint. It is for you. It is for you. And when I open these doors, I need you to run through these doors. I need you to finally get the level of financial success that I need, access to the knowledge that you need. I need you to understand, that's right, it's already happening for me. I believe it and I receive it. That's right, Nina. Listen. Karen Parham, good to see you, sis. Good to see you. Listen, I believe it, and Maddie, it's already happening for you. Listen, here's the other thing I want to ask. I know you have 5 other friends that need to be in this challenge. And I need you to go in to the challenge group, and I need you to invite all of your friends to join the 3-day Get Wealthy Challenge. I need you to get this VIP pass. It's less than it would cost you to buy a Chipotle meal. I need you. Who's with me? Who's ready to lean in for the next 3 days? I'm jazzed. We have so much going on in WealthyU. I want to share this legacy wealth blueprint. I want you guys to come running through that door. I want you to commit. I want to become your wealth mentor. I want to become the person for you that I wish I had had. You guys understand that? What I want you to know is that my mother took me as far as she could take me on her own. She did not have the capacity or the knowledge to pass that inheritance of how to build wealth on to me. Listen, in these next few days, you're going to hear all the twists and turns and all the things that I had to do. Terry, you in? Who's in? Who's in? If you're in, put I'm in. That's right. I love it. Listen, I'm going to take, you guys are going to learn so much about all the twists and turns and all the mistakes and all the things that I did and all the things that I did. I mean, I tried it all. I tried all the free stuff. I went to the SBA, help me grow this community. And it's not until I invested in someone to give me the knowledge, and that knowledge was, he had already done it, not for only he and his wife for themselves, but also for hundreds of other people. I needed to invest at the level of results that I needed. And once I invested at that level, then the magic happened. Then more women started achieving the level of financial success. They didn't just have the knowledge, they were able to apply it. And then it happened faster and faster and faster. And I need you to be one of those women. Bridget says I'm in. Toya says I'm in. That's right. Your assignment, VIP book, VIP kit, read the Wealth Secrets book. Go in, invite 5 of your good girlfriends. Now listen, let me just say, I mean your girlfriends who you know are serious. Okay? Winners. They want it. They know I am responsible and they no excuses. I want you to invite all of your winners to this challenge. If we're going to go far, we're going to get further together. That's what I want you to know. I want you to join us on our mission to help 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets so that they can create legacy wealth. And that means that it lasts not only in this generation, do you not run out of the wealth that you need, but that you're able to pass it on. And the most valuable knowledge of all, and that's the knowledge of how to build wealth. If you're with me, I want you to join me right back here at 8 o'clock tomorrow, and we're going right into the first secret. That's going to do it for me this evening. Don't forget, get that VIP kit. Meet me. Well, some of you are going to meet me. If you're in VIP, you're meeting me here at 7:30, and then we go live at 8. I can't wait to take this journey. I can't wait to provide you with the kind of accountability and support that you desire and that you deserve. That is our commitment. And then finally, I want all of you to connect with your ambassador. I'm going to let all of them to introduce themselves, but look in your emails, look in your messengers in Facebook, because Michelle Smith, Virginia Rutherford Hall, Anita Jenkins, Lynn Kroom, and Mona Brown have all been reaching out to you because they want you to achieve the same level of financial success that they have experienced in their own lives. In order to be a WealthyU ambassador, you have had to have internalized all of the concepts that we use, experience that financial transformation yourself so that you can provide accountability and support to other women with integrity, because you know that if it can happen for you, it can happen for them. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we're on a mission to help 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets so that they can create legacy wealth for their families. All right, I'll see you right back here tomorrow. My VIPs, that's right.